Hello guys, how are you? Fine, I hope. So in this video we'll see how to use a stat module and register. This is two things very simple but very important in ANSIBLE. So if you want, you can subscribe to my channel to not miss the next video. To start, you can find some documentation about stat module with this link. So if you don't want to use a browser, you can find some documentation with ANSIBLE -doc binary and specify stat module. To start, what is the objective of this module? This module collect and get some informations like facts for a file or a directory, and you can compare this stat module with the stat command line into Linux. Okay. This module take some parameters. First parameter, path. Path, it's obviously because this is the path of the file or the directory. You can add follow if you want to follow a symbolic link or some symbolic link. You can get a checksum with the get underscore checksum parameters, and you can specify the algorithm of checksum like MD5 or J1, and you can specify the meme type to get the type of the data of content of this file. Okay, and to start, so let's start by editing our playbook file. Before we use our script. So we have our script deploy.sh. We have already see that into the 12, the video number 12, I think. And to use it, we use -- create and specify the number of our containers like VM with into SSH, for example, on the systemd. So I want 3 servers, 3 containers, and specify 3. Okay, and I have 3 containers with SSH and 3 IP 172.171.0.2.3 and .4. To do a test more quickly, we can use our script and -- ANSIBLE options like this. And if you check our directory, we have a new directory, ANSIBLE _dir, and into this directory we can find a new file, an inventory file, and into this inventory file we can have all group and all as target servers with with their IP. Okay. So now we can add a new file into this dir, this new file, and I say playbook.yml file. Okay, and I specify the name of this playbook like this. This is my first playbook, or maybe my second, but we tell my first. Okay, we can specify target servers. In our case, we use all group. We say all, okay, for all servers, and we want to describe some task, and we specify some task like this. First of all, I want to create a file, and after we in second task we do a state on this task, okay? This file, okay? So I'll create a file. This is the name of this task, and I use the file module. We have already seen that in previous video. File module take path, and we specify /tmp. I want a new file named xavkey.txt, okay? And I specify the state, and I want an empty file. And to do that, I use touch, okay? And I save it, and I run ansible -playbook and -i my inventory. Sorry, I go into ansible dir, okay? Ansible -playbook -i. I specify 00 my file, my inventory file, and I specify my playbook, and I run it again, okay? So I have changed my 3 server, and to test it, I go into 172.17.0.2, okay? I run a bash, and I can do ls and /tmp. Okay, I have a new file named xavkey. Perfect. So now I want to do a stat with this file. To do that, I create a new task named this is the stat of xavkey. Okay, sorry, xavkey file, yes, and I use a stat module. So I write stat, and the path of the file, I want to start this file, so I specify this path, and I save it. I run it again. If I run it again, I have only OK in the status of this task, but I want to see the output of this task, because in the output of this task I have the output of the stat of xavkey file, okay? To do that, first of all, I use register close, okay, like this. My best practice is to add a prefix. I prefix, this is a variable, I prefix it with double underscore, like this, and this is a file, add file, and this file is named xavkey, register, like this. So I save it, I run it again, but if you check, I have another OK into the task, but I want to see what is the content of this variable. To do that, I add another task. This is a debug task, like this. I use the debug module, and debug module, into this debug module I want to show the output of double underscore file xavkey, like this. I save it, I run it again, and now I have the content of the stat of xavkey file, okay? And I have it for each server, okay? .4, .3, or .2, okay? So I see this is the content of this variable, double underscore file xavkey. I see if the previous task is changed or failed. Not this is false into these two cases, and I have the output of stat module for this file. I can see atime or aimtime into epoch format, okay. I can see the group name, this is OK, and the GID, and I have the the owner name OK. If this file is readable or writable, I can see the mod. This is 0644, and the path obviously /tmp/xavkey.txt, and I think that's all. You have some information like inode, and I can see the size. This is an empty file. The size is 0. Okay, and very useful. This is exists. This is a boolean. The value is true or false, simply. So in many cases, you can do .stat .exist to get this boolean. Okay, so if you do that, you run it again, you have only the content of exist. Okay, true. This is true for all server. If you want, you can we can remove this task. Okay, and I can remove only on one server this file. For example, in this server, I remove xavkey file, and now if I run it again, I can see one server to false and two server to true. Okay, and this is very useful because now you can add a conditional task on this boolean. Okay, to do that, you can add another task. You can add a conditional task to do many things, like apt install some packages on this conditional task, or restart a service with systemd module, or whatever. So in our case, we just create a directory if this file exists. Okay, so we use we say create mydir if xavkey.txt exists. Okay, and here in our case we add the path /tmp/mydir, and we say the state, and in this case the state is directory. Okay, and we use a clause. This is when for conditional, and in our case we conditional this task on an exist is to true value. Okay, I save it. So in this case, when I don't add any value, this is to use the boolean value to true. Okay, so I run it again, I do that, and in our case, what is the output? This output is skipping for .2 server, because into .2 server like this we have the boolean value is to false. Okay, but into the two other servers we have true like this, and we have changed the task mydir to create a mydir directory. Okay, so if you check what we have into .2 server, where we have removed the file, we have not we haven't created a directory, my directory, mydir. So if you go into 172, sorry, .17.0.3, if I do ls on /tmp, I can see xavkey file, and in this case I create mydir. Okay, this is simple but very useful into Ansible to manage configuration. And I check the slide, and that's all for today. Yes, okay. That's all for today. If you want to find these slides, you can find the link into the video description. And thank you for watching this video. Don't miss the next one, and I say you goodbye. So, goodbye.